Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. My name is Marv, and today's video we're going to break down the character creation in Biomutant. Biomutant has one of the most in-depth character creations that I've ever seen. Okay, all the ways you can influence the look, feel, abilities, and playstyle right from the beginning are great. In today's video, I will go over choosing your breed, mutation, resistance, fur appearance, and classes so that you can make your character your own. The character creation is done at the start of the game, and like most games obviously, allows you to pick your genetic breed and class, which in turn influences your starting appearance, the attributes, the stats, the traits, and it sort of gives you an overall direction and idea of your character's growth. Okay, so we'll start with character creation. Right at the beginning, you get to choose your breed. There are 6 breeds in total: Primal, Dumbon, Rex, Hyla, and Fip, and Murgle. Okay, so the Primal is a nimble, developed sort of anthropomorphic breed, a hybrid with a gene mutation making them very nimble and dexterous, at the cost of a lesser developed intellect. So this one's not as smart, right? Dumbon is the least developed anthropomorphic breed, sort of a hybrid offshoot that compensates with the lack of mental prowess with physical strength. So it's a strong sort of DPS melee. Rex sort of is a hybrid outcast with an even DNA string, making it apt for both physical and mental challenges. So if you want to start off with a great foundation, Rex looks good. Hyla, sort of a hybrid with a gene mutation, making them extremely tough and resistant, and it sort of has a regenerative ability as well, which is fantastic. Fip, it's known for having a highly evolved mind. That's what the developer says anyway. Its genius is directly interlinked with its power of ki, which amplifies their psionic output. So, if you're going to go Psy-Freak, I'd say start with Fip. Murgle is the definition of an idealized breed. Its evolution is sort of gone in the direction from appearance and has sort of dominated over function. So it looks good. It's a good, if you like the showy looking breed, the Murgle's the way to go. So once you've chosen your breed, you then get to mutate your character. There's like a mutation wheel that you can use. It sort of defines starting attributes: vitality, strength, intellect, charisma, and agility, each of which govern your secondary stats. So dragging that sort of cursor around the wheel, like we've seen in many other games, adds or subtracts from your attributes. Note that while luck is an attribute, it cannot be customized during the character creation process. I think it grows while you're playing, but it can be influenced by equipment. Excluding luck, you have a total of 140 points to assign to your attributes. However, you cannot take an attribute below 10, leaving you with 90 points to distribute however you wish. So that basically means you can't have like a build, like a bit of your attribute that is at 0. So it sort of gives you a base to work off. So you can pretty much do almost anything in the game to a degree, because you've got the base level. So mutating your character's attributes affects their physical appearance as well. For example, giving your character more agility may decrease the overall body mass while lengthening their legs, and giving them more intellect increases their head size, which is awesome. I love that little bit that they've put into the character creation. That we've all played RPG games where you bump up the strength stat, but the person doesn't really change much. They just hit harder. This one, I like that if you bump up that strength stat, you're going to get jacked, right? Next, you choose your resistance. Now, as I said in my previous video, there's zones, like hazard zones, that cover the entire sandbox that is the Biomutant world, which is actually like an 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer sandbox, which is huge. There are areas covered in biocontamination, radioactivity, cryogenic, or like incendiary hazards of fire. There are also oxygen deprived dead zones. So boosting your resistance to specific hazards allows you to survive in these zones longer without specialized equipment. Your resistances will also affect how much damage you take from hazard-based weapons used by many hostiles you encounter. So basically, like the mutate before, you drag that cursor around, sort of boosts your resistance to various attacks. You can have a maximum of 25% resistance to a single hazard type during character creation, which can be improved, which can improve your survivability in certain locations during the early game. And resistances can be further boosted by equipment, so the equipment you find in the world and the equipment you craft. Note that you cannot boost resistances to dead zones during character creation, so leaves something up to the imagination of actually going out there and finding the gear you need to go into certain zones. So I like that. It's just a base. Next, we have like the fur appearance. This section allows you to customize sort of your fur for a myriad of patterns available. Moving the cursor around again on the customization wheel, you can also choose your primary and secondary color. Now, this and fur brightness as well. This is more for aesthetics. How do you want to look? Okay, I'm neither here nor there, but I'll probably make a black and red character because some of my favorite characters. I might throw some green in there, or maybe a green and black character, you know. Next, we got the classes. Classes provide you with a starting sort of archetype for your character's abilities and combat affinities. So this is your play style. Each class specializes in a combat style using different starting equipment, and you also assign special abilities that make them more effective in combat. There are 5 classes to choose from, right? There's the Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freaks, Saboteur, Sentinels, and the Mercenary, which is initially sort of a DLC character that you get for pre-order in the game. So if you want to get all the characters off the bat, pre-order, but the developer has said that you will be able to get the Mercenary in the game as well. So there's that. The Deadeye. The Deadeye is tricky. It's a skillful rogue that's sort of chosen a life outside lore and so society values. This is straight from the devs. The class abilities: perfect reload. Your ranged weapons are reloaded instantly, and your next magazine is granted a 20% damage. Great for those guys that like gunplay. The Commando. The Commando is trained as an operative of an elite special force operation. Commandos are used to work in working in smaller teams. The class abilities of the Commando is Fury. Ranged weapons inflict 10% more damage to the target. So all ranged weapons. Again, when you look at it, it reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Psy-Freaks. Psy-Freaks are sort of experimenting with psionic powers and mutations. They're the usual outcasts of the groups, like the mages in other games. So the class abilities of the Psy-Freak: Spark Ball. You shoot a spark ball. It'll make it basically, you throw a ball in the direction you're facing, and it inflicts sort of damage to the enemy you hit. And Megamind, your key energy regen is increased by 20%. So if you're trying to play the Psy-Freak class, you're trying to play that mage sort of AoE sort of build, Psy-Freak. Saboteur. The Saboteur is cunning, skilled explorer trained to operate covertly in both suburbs and wilderness. The class abilities: Twin Silver Grip, melee dual wield skill. Equip 2 different one-handed melee weapons to dual wield them. Hypergenetic, your dodge energy is reduced by 20%. This is the class I'm personally going to go, the Saboteur. Sentinels. Sentinels are like your sort of, high damage sponge build. It's like your defensive build. The class ability is Toughness. Your base armor is increased by 10. The Mercenary, this is the one that comes with the pre-order. He's a trained swordsman who has mastered the art of the blade. He also gets Twin Silver Grip, dual wield, and gets Fury. Fury. Why can't I say that word? Jesus Christ. Melee weapon attacks inflict 10% more damage to the target. So I've pre-ordered, so I'm probably going to either go the Mercenary or the Saboteur because I like being a melee monster. Those of you who watched my Outrider videos, you know I love to play up close. So that's me. Saboteur or Mercenary. Here's a question for the group. Which class are you going to choose? Deadeye, Commando, Psyfreak, Saboteur, Sentinels, or the Mercenary? Comment below. Let me know. That's the video, guys. This character creation in this game looks nuts. I can't wait to get my hand on it. If you know more than I know, or you have a bit more information than I do, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't already, drop a sub on the video, on the channel, sorry, and drop a like on the video. We're getting a hang of this. Hopefully the content is getting better. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next one. And this game gets released in like 3 days. I'm hyped. Peace.